Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So do I need to hold this or am I loud enough? Can you all hear me? What? Oh, how many things can I hold? Come on. I don't usually have notes when I give speeches, but I have a lot to say tonight, so I want to make sure I forget nothing. First and foremost, thank you to every single one of you for being out here tonight. It means the world to me, and I'm so appreciative of all the places you could be. You chose to be here with us. I want to thank Scott and Holly for their kind introductions, but more importantly, for their hard work. It is public servants just like them that we need in office now more than ever, because they're actually focused on doing what benefits the people. So thank you both. So you all know why we're here, but I'm going to just go ahead and plainly state it again. My name is Stella Pekarsky, and I am running for Congress. Thank you. The truth is, I never thought I would be here today. As many of you know, my family came here as immigrants when I was young. We would go back and forth from here to Greece, and I started school in Greece. And finally, we came here to Northern Virginia and settled for good. And I was an ESL student in our public schools, just trying to learn curriculum and language. And when I saw what a difference that program made, I decided that after graduating high school, I was going to be an ESOL teacher. And I went to George Mason right here in the district. Thank you. And, yay, Mason. And a second only to being a mom, I had the hardest and most important job that anyone could ever have, and that was teaching our students, teaching the next generation. But eventually, our family grew. Eventually, 6 kids came about, and most of them are here today. George, Angela, Maria, Alex, Nick, if you're here, say hello. And my husband, Pavel, of course, at the very last minute was called to work. He's flying tonight, but he is cheering us on from afar. And I would not be able to do this without their support, his support, and very importantly, the support of my mom. Aristea, say hello. Thank you. As you can imagine, the logistics of managing such a large group is difficult. And so that's why eventually I decided I needed a job that gave me some flexibility. And my husband and I opened an air charter company that we operated for 18 years up until a couple of years ago. A very interesting industry. But even as busy as I was, I stayed engaged in our community, and I met many of you from a lot of that engagement who are here today, and got into politics when I saw the Tea Party era Republicans like Ken Cuccinelli, who represented my part of the county, tried to take us backwards. We organized the moms of Western Fairfax and unseated one Republican after another. Yay! And by 2019, the start of Donald Trump's disastrous presidency, I knew that finally it was my turn. We could not allow our book banners and ideologues to run our schools. So I decided to run for school board and unseated a Republican incumbent by 18 points. But none of us who ran for school board that year, some of my colleagues that are here, and I also want to say hello to Mateo Dunn, who is on the school board out from Mount Vernon. He just joined us. We never could imagine what would be coming. A few months into our term, COVID hit, and our schools were shuttered, our communities were in fear, and people were looking for stability. My colleagues eventually asked me to take on the chairmanship, and we began our work to determine how to best bring our kids back so they could find a sense of normalcy safely. And those times were not easy. And I did. I learned a lot from that experience. Then redistricting happened, as it does, and our community in Western Fairfax was thrown into a new district with a senator whom I did not know very well. So I reached out, I invited him into one of our schools. I said, come on out, I'd like you to meet our teachers, our principals, and see what's important in our district. And although he was well-intentioned, he had been in office for too long, and he just was out of touch with the important things our community cared about. So then I decided to run for the state senate in a Democratic primary, which, let me be honest, it didn't make me a lot of friends in many circles, but I did it because it's important. And without term limits for politicians, we, the people, have to decide when it's time for new leadership. And after an expensive campaign where I was outspent more than 2-1, my community elected me as their state senator. Thank you. As a new senator, I had to get to work quickly to learn how Richmond worked with a lot of institutional knowledge that, was still kind of angry at me. I met with lobbyists from many industries, but my goals were very clear from the moment I stepped foot in my office. We had to limit corporate power in Virginia, and we had to prioritize public education, students, and teachers in our budget. Thank you. My first year, I introduced, as the majority leader said, the biggest consumer protection bill for Virginia in recent history that would eliminate those scam fees that all of us hate. I saw no hands going up for Ticketmaster. I did not like them either. After battling with both lobbyists and legislators who attempted to weaken my bill, it passed in the Senate, and then it went to the House, where it was killed by one vote of a Democrat who decided to listen to the special interests. But I was not deterred. I am a fighter. It's my Greek blood. I can't stop when I need to do something. So this year I brought it back. Not only did we secure the votes we needed in the Senate bipartisanly, we also secured the votes that we needed in the House bipartisanly. We passed it, and then when Glenn Youngkin tried to water it down and send it back to us, we rejected it, his amendments, and we sent them the bill, the strong consumer protection bill, and we cornered him. So he had two choices: sign it or veto it. The latter was not a good choice. So guess what happened? He signed it, and it goes into effect July 1st, and those undisclosed, pesky little hidden fees will be gone forever. Thank you. But that wasn't all I brought home. With the leadership of Senate Finance Chair Eloise Lucas and our majority leader and my caucus members, we delivered record education funding for school systems across the Commonwealth, including Fairfax County. Thanks. And our one-seat majority was able to pass constitutional amendments to protect a women's right to choose, the LGBTQ community's right to marry whoever they want, and the restoration of voting rights for people who have served and completed their sentences and paid their debt to society. Thank you. After the successful legislation, I was actually planning on staying in Richmond, I love it, in the Senate, to fight for all of you in the next coming years. But then we learned of the devastating loss of Congressman Jerry Connolly. And folks, I know everyone has been touched by Jerry in their own ways. He was a giant in our community, a fighter. And we owe him a debt of gratitude for the multitude of ways that he has served us. When I first ran for the school board, I found his advice and guidance to be instrumental on ensuring that I was a successful, not only campaigner, but new elected official. And his cancer spread so quickly, and everyone is still grieving his loss. But now we are faced with a choice of who represents us next, perhaps for years to come, in the face of the most threatening time any of us have ever seen in this country. My first North Star is our kids and what they are seeing. Their fear of gun violence when they go to school, for the climate that is being destroyed before our eyes, of the Trump administration snatching their friends and their friends' families off of the streets, for their parents' jobs who are in the federal workforce, and our entire democracy. That is too much to put on their young shoulders. So, we need a member of Congress who understands that this is no time for normalcy. We have to stand up and be loud in our opposition to what Trump is doing. We have to be effective in working to build coalitions across the political spectrums to slow down and stop his extreme agenda in its tracks. And as I watched, I realized that this time I needed to step up. As a teacher, I'm going to stand up and be loud against Trump's extreme attacks on the Department of Education. But I will also stand up for our local teachers when they are shortchanged by local officials, even in a year where we provided record state funding. I will stand up and be loud for gun safety as a mom who is sick and tired of her kids hearing about school after school being shot up with assault weapons that should be banned, and by people who should have never had access to these firearms to begin with. I will stand up and be loud for our immigrants and dreamers who deserve a pathway to citizenship. I will stand up and be loud to preserve our environmental protections while taking real action on climate crisis. I will stand up and be loud for our federal workers who are under attack. I will stand up and be loud for our seniors who are watching MAGA eye their Social Security benefits that they have worked for and actually earned. And I will stand up and be loud to stop cuts to Medicaid that would eliminate health care for millions of vulnerable Americans and change the discussion to demand Medicare be available for all Americans. And most important, I will stand up and be loud for our democracy, which is under attack daily by this administration. Thank you. All of our accomplishments as a society come from our democracy, and we have to do everything we can collectively to protect it. And that means here locally. We cannot allow a small group of people to control political offices in Fairfax County and who serves where. Elections are about giving people a choice. That's why I ran against an incumbent school board member that people said couldn't be defeated, and I won anyway. That's why I ran against an incumbent state senator that people said couldn't be defeated, and I won that too. And that's why I'm standing up against the machine in Fairfax County and demanding that we get a choice in who to send to represent us in Congress. Thank you. As a little girl in public school ESL class, I never would have imagined where I would end up today. But fast forward today and imagine the other little girls sitting in their ESL classes during this administration and how afraid those kids must be watching everything that is happening around them. I want those kids to see that we can stand up and win these fights for them. And that's why I'm here. And that, I will tell you, this election is going to go very, very fast. So I need every single one of you. I need you to talk to your friends. I need you to talk to your neighbors. I need you to hit doors. I need you to get our message out. We have to push hard. And I believe when we do, as a community, we are going to win and we are going to take our country back. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, yay, good. And my